And he's like, hey, God's actually not slow with his promises. He's patient so that as many people as, this is my paraphrase, so that as many people as possible will come to know him. And I think, gosh, I'm glad that Jesus didn't answer the prayers of that particular early church. They were desperate for Jesus to return to rescue them out of their suffering. But because he didn't answer the prayers the way that they wanted him to do, we now get to benefit and receive Jesus. We wouldn't even exist if Jesus had come back all those years ago that they were praying for. And by the same token, Paul, with the book of Romans, I think we spoke about this, he was desperate to get to the Roman church to be with them. And out of his frustration that he couldn't get there, he wrote the book of Romans, which is to our benefit. And it's that tapestry idea, right? We only see it from the back where it's a mess, but God's weaving something and we're going to get to glory and see it. And Paul says this even in this chapter where he says, if we are children, then we are heirs, heirs of God, co-heirs with Christ. Then he says this, if indeed we share in his sufferings in order that we may also share in his glory. And I think one of the things that we struggle with, particularly probably in Pentecostalism, is having a good theology of suffering, understanding that.
It's a tough one to hold that intention because when a believer lays hands upon the sick, they recover. And the more that I pray, the better my strike rate. If I don't pray, I don't see miracles. And so there's this tension of suffering and the miraculous, the supernatural touch of God. I'm believing for breakthrough, but yet I'm in the middle of still needing that breakthrough. I think God doesn't answer prayers based upon my sense of timeliness or urgency. If you go back to that 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 9, Rebecca, I won't say babe because Jack will think I'm talking about him again.
Thank you for clarifying.
The Lord is not slow in keeping his promise, as some understand slowness. So, like, his sense of it's outside of time. It's not on his base of slowness. Instead, he is patient with you. I'm so glad. I am so glad I need his patience. Why is he patient? Because he's not wanting anyone to perish. It's back to his purposes. All things work together for good for those who love the Lord, who are called according to his purposes. He doesn't want anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. That's why God's patient. That's why in the middle of difficulty, and I think in the middle of pain or suffering or difficulty in a fallen world, we shine brighter. People say, why do bad things happen to good people? I think if we understand those bad things are what we're called to bring transformation to. That if it was all good, we'd be out of a job. But we're called to actually transform the world with the truth and the power of Jesus Christ. And I think the poor bad things that are in Newcastle don't know that there's a bunch of good lifers ready to come. Like, we're ready to attack, we're ready to deal with, we're ready to influence, we're ready to bring transformation with the truth and the power of Jesus Christ. Those poor bad things don't know what's about to hit them.
Yeah, I love that.